All right, here's the question. Let's not look at Knuckle Dude's face while we do this. It's a little weird to just look at one man's face. All right, we'll put the game. I know you get a paycheck from Capcom. Oh boy, if only life was this easy. I know you get a paycheck from Capcom, but I still want to ask this question. When League of Legends first started going, the casters, that's an interesting way to spell it, couldn't mention anything wrong with the champs. That meant overpowered, stupid interactions, and even bugs. Now since about 3 years ago, they can call the balanced team fools and say certain champs are unbalanced. Can you, as a play-by-play caster, talk about these kinds of things, or won't you? Of course. Of course, we can talk about characters being silly. I mean, we talked about Abigail a lot this weekend. We're allowed to say whatever we want about them, talk some trash. I mean, you have to remember that some games, they don't want you to actually say anything negative about a player's choice. So remember on E-League when on E-League when Punk was playing Phenom and he had that big combo drop? I said that Phenom had the drop of the century, right? I said that he made the combo drop, and like there was this big drop and I was talking about it. Some games, some developers would be like, no, you can't say that there's a drop. All you have to say is like Punk took advantage of a situation or something, right? You wouldn't be able to spin that negatively. You know what I mean? But for us, like, yeah, calls it how you sees it, right? Say what happened. If you want to say, well, that was way too much damage and he died, like that's how it is. If you want to say, well, he missed the combo so he lost, that's his fault. That's his bad. In general, though, most commentary is better if you don't harp too negatively on anybody, right? That's like an important thing to remember. Nobody likes a commentator who does a couple of things. One, you just talk shit on everybody. That's bad. It makes you look like an asshole. And if you're better than that guy, go out there and fucking play, you scrub. Like, what are you doing over here talking shit? All right. If you have analysis or points that would help, like, right there, maybe he should have gone for this. That combo might have done more damage. That's useful, but not like that guy's fucking trash. Second, you don't want to insert yourself in the match, right? Unless it's in a way that's like, man, I definitely would have got hit by that mix-up. That mix-up was buff. You don't want to say like, I would have blocked that. That would have blocked that mix-up. Or if that was me, I would have anti-aired that. Or fucking, I played that guy in casuals and I beat him. Like, fucking shut up. No one cares, right? Those are the kinds of things that people, when you do it on commentary, they're like, yeah, you're whack. Yeah, CPT doesn't really mind what you say. There's not really we don't even have a dress code anymore, actually. That's why we start wearing casual clothes most of the times. That's how it is. So yeah, I don't know. I say the things that I feel on commentary. I don't really like have to overthink about it. That's how it goes. It's nice. That's a nice thing about that. If I was ever told like, hey, you can't say anything mean about any of the players, so only say positive things, I would be like, why would I want to commentate this, right? Like, what do you mean? I can't say that someone made a mistake? It's not fucking, there's not sunshine and rainbows. Players make mistakes. In fact, it's important that players make mistakes because when you talk about the mistakes, those matter in the match. Mistakes cost you matches, and it's important to point out that even the best players in the world will make mistakes because the game is hard. And even if the game is not hard, it's one of those situations where when playing against a player who's a super high level player and you're stressed out in a competition that's worth, fucking, if I hit this combo, I win 150 grand. If I drop this combo, I win 50 grand or something, right? If that's the difference in money and you make a mistake, then that's important to address, right? Because it's like, the stress of the moment is probably what helped cause the drop. I bet you he would have hit that combo if he was playing somebody online, but that's important to bring up. These are all things that matter. And if you're not allowed to talk about them, it makes the whole situation a little less honest. And also it gives you less compelling of a story, right? Yeah, if someone's getting jumped in on all day, you can say, man, he really needs to anti-air. That's what's causing him costing him this set. He hasn't anti-aired a lot, so he's got to be scouting that a little bit more. You can't say this guy's a moron. Why doesn't he just hit crouching fierce? Because then it's like you're just being a dick, right? No one wants to hear that, and you shouldn't say that. Like if you're gonna say that about a person, then all right, well, you maybe you're an asshole, but I wouldn't say that. Fucking anti-airing someone in a tournament is hard. Especially if you're like, I can't believe that dude just jumped again. It's crazy. So yeah, I don't know. You're allowed to make jokes all the time. So anyway, the moral of the story is no, they don't tell us to say specific things. Yeah, dude, trying to anti-air Cammy, that shit's a fucking nightmare. She does shallow dive kick, you whiff an uppercut, you get crush counted. It's like, oh boy. You know. The moral of the story is that we're allowed to say what we want to say about the matches or the characters or whatever. That's why I said damage against Abigail doesn't matter, because, you know, it doesn't. The character really only starts playing against you when he has V-Trigger. You think I'd say that if the game, they were like, you know what, you can't say that Abigail's really strong when he gets V-Trigger, and before that, none of this matters. You got to make the whole match exciting. It's like, no. You have to talk about the win condition, which is the V-Trigger, right?